Why are there so many beta males when they are mostly overlooked and discarded by women? Why has not the evolution diminished their quantity? Is there after all any evolutionary advantage being a beta, or having the characteristics that prones you to be one? I would like to use another word starting with an S, but I'm afraid of the algorithm. Also, English is not my first language, so please bear with me. Before the Industrial Revolution, times were hard and females needed safety from men, or rather, one man. The man thus felt needed, and maybe, illusory also beloved, a very conditioned love from her part. The price of this super tool of a protecting male was high though. She could seek support from only one male since the males were rivalizing. She had to accept this because times were rough and she needed protection. Also, the male had his reasons to settle for and protect just one female. It comes with a cost in time, effort, and money to woo more than one female in competition with other males. The male becomes thus totally dependent of his mate to get an offspring, and here we might find the reason why he had to be nice and attract his partner by providing and protecting, that is typically beta traits. Also, the equal birth numbers of males and females favored monogamy. Despite its drawbacks, the partner selection focused more on resources than, let's say, feelings and casual flings, and the hot guys did not have the same status and importance as today. In that time of monogamy, most men and women were partnered up with a person of about the corresponding market value. Intimacy and sex could be said to be equitable distributed. Most men had sex and male sexlessness was not much of an issue. When, by time, the men had built a better and safer world, these dependencies slowly started to fade. Good times, as you know, creates weak men, handing over initiative to females. When times had got good enough, females were not any longer directly dependent on just one man, but still living in a prosperous society that in reality was built and maintained by all men as a collective. Education and good jobs and social support systems, made possible by male efforts, made the women economically independent. The male had lost his leverage, and to this the feminist movement and other changes rooted in the 60s made it even worse. Now the females can play or have fun with their male toolboys, and discard them at will, when lust wants a new object. Monogamy is no longer demanded, and a woman can stack up a number of male servant tools to satisfy her diverse needs and wishes. The men, confused and splitted by the feminism, didn't realize what was happening till it was way too late. All the men that formerly got a girl in his early 20s to start a family, call them beta males if you like, can't find one now, the strong independent girls being in the CC and knocking up their body count with the top 10% guys. The rest of the men, the invisible 80 to even 90%, have to struggle to get any intimacy or sex at all. Being men, their sex drive and their urge to build a family is unchanged. This large group of men have been divided, or formed into different subgroups, but they are mostly just referred to as beta males, and they all suffer from sexlessness. Especially hit are the many introverts, a group of formerly great importance and praise since they are doers, scientists, and engineers that built the physical world around us. In today's world, the extroverts, the talkers, are excessively favored. Deprived of their possibility to get sex, some have stayed in cells, others become hooligans and gangsters, some drug addicts, homeless with mental issues or suicidal. Others have resigned from chasing women at all and become MGTOWs. Yet, most of them still try to find a girl so they can get a family. To this end they have to lower their expectations considerably, often shamed into accepting girls not in their prime, single moms, God forbid, or with ridiculously high body count, something they not always realize from the beginning. These relationships never last long, and if they do, they are not very happy. All these beta males are in a way a reminder of the old monogamous paradigm. That is why they still are so many. They seem quite obsolete, so will they finally be weeded out by the evolution? Maybe a stupid question, but better a stupid one than none at all. These men cannot transform into the top 10% because 10% is just 10%, and as long as female hypergamy is what it is, there will always be 90% invisible men. They are labeled creeps if they approach a woman in her prime, but may be accepted as a provider later on if prosperous enough. So, if we look for any evolutionary effect on beta males, we have to wait a long time. Actually, till the birth ratio of male to females has gone down to 1 to 10. Well, a joke of course, since society still needs the grinding and toiling efforts of the 90% invisible betas. The human male has been conditioned for many millennia to build assets and cater for the females. Even if, as now, they will get nothing back, the inertia is so great that the males will just continue for generations grinding and amassing wealth and paying tax for nothing, while the females can go on both eating the cake and still have it. What will be in the future of these men? Well, I doubt anybody has the crystal ball, so we have to wait and see. Back to an enforced and commonly accepted strict monogamy version 2.0, would of course solve the problem, but that seems completely unrealistic and, far, far away. The feminists have scared the shit out of all women about the 1950s, the best and most happy time ever for both men and women. And what will happen to the many women who can't find a husband when they want? That's another question, and maybe for another video. Harsh times ahead. It would be interesting to hear your different ideas on that, so please comment. Remember, the one moral tenet above all: no hymen, no diamond.